All right, y'all, welcome back to part two. I want to preface this by saying that my father has a really big heart. My father has endured a lot. He was on his own since he was 12 years old. My father and I have discussed a lot of things, and so I know that my dad just truly deep down in his heart wanted to be loved. So don't get on here victim blaming. Now we're back to my baby book. So this says that my dad and my mom met July of 1991 at King Soopers, which is like a Kroger. If you guys don't have King Soopers, Kroger, at a grocery store in the Coca-Cola aisle. Says it was love at first sight, married 1 year after we met, 2-week affair, didn't see him until a year later, and then they got married on July 14th, 1992. So my dad brought my baby book and came to visit me last March, I think it was. And we stayed up all night talking, and I just really got to know who my father was, his story, everything in his past, and I got to see him more as a person instead of just my father. So I was looking through my baby book that he brought me, and I read what I just read you guys out loud to him. He was like, "What?" And I was like, "What you mean? What is that not what happened?" And since I knew my mother, this was the story she told. She made up this grand fantasy in her mind of what happened, and it's not the truth. Here's the text messages from my father. We met at a nightclub. I gave her my number. He was friends with her brother first. Called me the next day thinking she had called me. We talked for about 2 hours, him and my mom. After that, he went to her apartment a couple days later and saw my brother, who at the time I didn't know was not my father's son. Fell in love with him. He never left, and they were together since that day. I said, that explains why you didn't know she was crazy. And he said, yup. Mind you, my brother was born on April 28th, 1992. They got married on July 14th, 1992, which means they shortly got pregnant with me after that, because I was born on April 25th, 1993. Mind you, I was born early, but I was supposed to be born on July 7th, 1993. But still, they got to it quick. So my mother had my brother, and she also had my older sister, who's 7 years older than me. And my dad raised them like they were his kids as well, before they both had me. And so everybody likes to say that my father made her this way, and he didn't make her this way. She literally was this way before anybody else was involved. Stay tuned for part 3.